beautiful, it's brash, it's brazen.
Hello, I'm Ladybug Cat Operation.
It's Bangkok and it's booming.
Bangkok's the place to be.
And here I am and I absolutely love it.
This new world city is home to over 6.5 million Thais. And now over 40,000 Brits, all trying their luck in a place where a nobody can become a somebody. We've been following the lives of British expats, all with their sights set on making a bigger and better life in Bangkok. There's starry-eyed Lee. She didn't find fame in the UK. Now she's looking for success in Bangkok.
Shit, I wish I remembered the song.
With her own dance act, the Dance Legends. And now they've got a chance at the big time, dancing at a 3-day wedding extravaganza in front of hundreds of guests.
Why are we not ready?
But it's not going to be easy.
It's broken. What the hell is this? Shit.
And this is Lee's boyfriend, Byron, breaking into Bangkok's film scene as a B-movie baddie.
I've been shot, I've been blown up, I've had my throat cut.
But now he wants to graduate from fall guy to proper actor.
I certainly want to do parts now with character.
He's desperately hoping his next film with Kristen Scott Thomas will be his big break.
For me, this is the biggest acting role I've ever had.
And it's hello to Gary. He was brought up on a farm in Devon.
I was never really meant to be a farm boy.
Gary's found success in Bangkok and leads the high life. He's even hired a full-time live-in maid.
She's staff. She's not part of the family, staff.
Go in my room.
And he's about to put Tong Yak to the ultimate test.
Part of her job is to make me look good.
And newly arrived Natalie. She's fresh off the boat and struggling to cope with the shock of Bangkok.
It's a bag of frogs. Oh, man. Soft shell turtle.
Has the move from Manchester been a big mistake?
See, I haven't really got any mates. There isn't really anyone to take the piss out of a fucking shrimp about.
And what about Billy? He's a bad luck barman. He had a bar, lost a bar, had another bar, lost that too. Now he's trying to build yet another bar. Will it be third time lucky?
They're good guys, you know, but they're a little bit slow.
Then there's his love life.
I always get it wrong and I always think they're interested. I always like, they never call me back. What the fuck is that? It's going to tip the boat.
British expat Gary's been in Bangkok for 18 years, running a successful headhunting company. He loves the champagne lifestyle he can have here, on a beer budget.
The perks that are available to us here that we could never afford back home. Having a car and a driver. I mean, who has a driver in the UK? And how many people have a full-time housekeeper? So that makes it great. Takes some of the sting out of living here.
They say money can't buy you happiness, but Gary's giving it a damn good go. He leads a tailor-made life, from bespoke suits down to his shoes.
You could go to Savile Row and get them in places like that, but the labour cost would be so prohibitive, I would imagine. Whereas here the labour cost is quite cheap. 7,000 baht, £150. I think that's a very good price, thank you.
He can indulge in cut-price pampering too.
My grooming routine, haircut every 3 weeks, manicure about once a month, facials once in a while. I like a massage, but I don't really care for the Thai massage. More Swedish massage with the oil, and no happy ending on that.
Nice. But if there's one thing that excites Gary, it's a party. And you can tell from his past outfits, he's no shrinking violet. And tonight will be no exception. He's off to a fancy expat fundraising bash, the Blue Ball. There's no prizes for guessing what colour you have to wear.
Isn't it such a beautiful blue?
But there are other awards that Gary's got his eye on.
Oh, there are special prizes here for the best dressed female, the best dressed male, and the most creative. I think we're in with a chance for the most creative tonight.
So what are you wearing then, Gary?
I'm not going to tell you what our theme is tonight.
Spoil sport.
But there we go, nice Concord cufflinks.
While Gary finesses upstairs, downstairs, his new maid Tong Yak's been putting finishing touches to her living quarters. Just off the car park. It was pretty minimalist when she first arrived. But now she's made it more homely. She's got a bed and a pink fan.
Welcome, you come to see my home now.
While Tong Yak's settling in, downtown at the fancy dress Blue Ball, the Pan Am flight crew have arrived. And guess who's head trolley dolly?
Shall we go in and find our captain? Nothing to see.
Oh, you don't mean that, Gary.
I always want to shag a pilot.
Oh, our pilot's coming.
Thrown by the Australian Chamber of Commerce, this ball's a big date on the expat business social calendar. It's a place to see and be seen.
When we turned up at the Blue Ball, the place stopped. They stopped talking to each other, turned to us and started taking pictures of us.
Oh, that must have been awful.
It was just magnificent. So we owned that ball from the moment we arrived. It was great. I think we own this ball now.
But somebody dares to crowd Gary's photo opportunity.
All right, next.
She doesn't seem to be getting the message.
See you later. They want to take pictures of us. Thank you. We're gonna win it. There's a prize for the most creative table, and we're one of the finalists.
Gary's chances of winning are looking good. His crew have gone all out.
Fingers crossed that we can win this one later. I don't know what the prize is. We'll find out. Doesn't really matter. It's just the recognition more than anything else.
Their only real competition seems to be a couple of Smurfs. They can't lose to them, surely. Coming up. Booked for an Indian wedding, Lee and her dancers get a bit more than they bargained for.
Why are we not ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
While Byron's facing torture.
He cuts my eyes with a fruit knife and they pump blood through the tubes.
And Tong Yak faces trial by dinner party.
Part of her job is to make me look good.
She has to cook for Gary's discerning friends.
I worry about what my friends will think about me if I'm not running a decent house here.
Cambridge-born dancer Lee Barwell moved to Bangkok, set up a dance troupe, the Dance Legends, and quickly discovered she was onto something.
It's quite a lot easier here in Bangkok to get things going like I've managed to do with my group, you know, because in England there's so much more competition.
And this morning at the bijou bedsit she shares with boyfriend Byron, Lee's had some exciting news.
Thank you. Speak to you on the email. Okay, bye-bye.
Her Dance Legends troupe have just been booked for their biggest gig yet, providing 3 days' worth of entertainment for a huge Indian wedding with hundreds of guests.
People might not realise that a lot of Indian weddings are based here in Thailand. That's like a very big trend and has been for a long time now, that location weddings are very trendy, so that's lucky.
If the Dance Legends get this one right, it could lead to more lucrative bookings. But Lee will have to work for it. As well as the dancing, she's been asked to provide welcome girls.
That you want, the welcome girls and the, you know, like presenter girls.
And they're digging their claws in over the budget.
But you want Western girls, right? The 12,000 baht budget is too low.
The bride and groom don't just want any old Western girls, they want young Western girls.
You showed them our photo already, right? So they know what to expect.
Lee's a bit concerned.
So hopefully they won't say, oh, you're too old or something.
Although there are plenty of pretty young girls in Bangkok, there aren't many who can dance to Lee's standards. So today in her dance studio, Lee's had to arrange an audition to hastily try and find some extra girls. 5 young hopefuls turn up, all eager to become a legend.
So we start like this, okay? And it's very acting style, so if you could show me your facials and how you perform.
The girls give it their best facials, but have they impressed Lee?
Obviously not going to find really professional dancers here, but not bad at all for the average sort of people that I find here in Bangkok. They're so hot on looks here. I'm often told that I'm too old and this and that, so I have to send the younger girls on.
But Lee's pragmatic.
I always want to be able to dance as much as I can, but I've got to be realistic. In a few years' time, no one's necessarily going to be wanting to see me dance. So, you know, I love the organising and the choreography side of it too.
Thank you. Good luck. Yeah, thanks a lot. You too.
While Lee's got her eyes on management, boyfriend Byron also has ambition. So far, he's been a B-movie bad guy who rarely makes it to the end of the film.
God, I must have been killed 15, 16 times.
Byron's biggest film so far was blockbuster The Impossible, starring Ewan McGregor, where he landed the role of staring man at airport. But Byron thinks nothing's impossible. He wants to go up the movie ladder. From film fall guy to having speaking parts.
I could kick this guy's ass in a minute.
Where he's doing the talking.
And cut sound, thank you.
But with work in the movie business sporadic, a fall guy needs a fall back. In Thailand, foreigners don't get social security, so Byron has to hustle to make a living. He has his own small business, which he'll tell you about once he gets across the road.
Traffic's crazy. I don't know how many cars are in Bangkok every day, but there's more and more cars, motorbikes. I mean, look at this, it's like the fucking M25, you know, this is just the road in the middle of Bangkok.
In the Chinatown district of Bangkok, cheap goods are really cheap.
I've got like a sideline business where I sell goods to people in the UK, Australia, all around the world. And the majority of what I do is wholesale. They normally buy off me in bulk.
Byron used to work on the markets in the UK, so he knows the game. His export business is how he earned his money when he first arrived in Bangkok.
I sold everything from jewellery to clothes to shoes, whatever anybody wants, you know.
And it's these winding back streets, coupled with its skyscrapers and neon lights, that make Bangkok a mecca for movie makers.
Bangkok, for me, is like you're in this cyber city. It's just this amazing city of hustle and bustle, crazy life. All kinds of shit going on, which you'd never expect back home.
It was around here they filmed blockbuster The Hangover Part 2. Byron and his best mate Ron did a fight scene.
When they filmed The Hangover, they took over the whole fucking street. They paid for all the bars. Me and Ron, we fight Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, that Bradley Cooper.
We all have a big punch-up with them.
You may know the film, you won't remember Byron, though.
It's a very good scene, but unfortunately they didn't use it in the movie, but shit happens, you know.
But in Bangkok, if you're prepared to go native, low local prices make the lean times easier to bear.
What's this costing? I think this is about £1. Some of the costs are nothing compared to back home, you know. You can get an apartment here for 14 grand, which is peanuts, really. I spend a couple £100 a month on rent, because we've got the swimming pool. Generally, the cost of living is very, very cheap.
Chasing his dream, Byron's prepared to forego the champagne lifestyle, but a bit of the red carpet treatment would be nice. After his scene was cut from The Hangover Part 2, Byron's hoping for better luck in his latest film, Only God Forgives, starring Kristen Scott Thomas. Yeah, that Kristen Scott Thomas.
In Only God Forgives, I play a British gangster. I get chopsticks through my arms, and I think it's the ice picking the ears.
To top it all off, they even filmed a scene where Byron gets his eyes gouged out.
Obviously, they don't cut your eyes out for real.
Lovely.
With CGI, which is computer graphics, they take this and superimpose it on my eyes. He cuts my eyes with a fruit knife, and here there's some tubes, and they pump blood through the tubes.
OK, we get the message.
I was going to send it to my mum, but it'd probably give her a heart attack.
This might cheer Mum up, though. Byron's also shot a speaking scene with A-lister lovey Kristen.
You can't go around killing cops anymore.
But after being erased from The Hangover, Byron knows being in the film doesn't necessarily mean being in the film. Fingers crossed. Last time we caught up with Gary, he was having a ball at the Blue Ball.
Look amazing.
Thank you.
Dressed as the Pan Am flight crew, he and his friends were the talk of the room. And Gary's got some good news.
They did have a most creative table competition, which we won. Being an Australian chamber ball, Australia's a little bit more diverse than some countries, so the best female was actually won by the two drag queens on our table.
Another night, and Gary's centre stage again. He's hosting a dinner party, and in preparation, Tong Yak, the maid, has scrupulously cleaned the flat. Now she's got to do the cooking. It's a real weight off Gary's mind and his feet.
When you're chucking a dinner party for 6 people, knowing that I can come home at 7 o'clock, the air conditioning's already on, table's laid, somebody's in the kitchen doing something, and I can have a shower or go down for a swim, relax, till my friends come, have a drink, and then we have a dinner on the table at 8:30. It's great. And I don't even have to wash up.
Right, I'm getting jealous. Tonight's a big test for Tong Yak. Gary has high standards.
Part of her job is to make me look good. I don't worry about what my friends will think about her. I will worry about what they think about me if I'm not running a decent house here.
Could Tong Yak be under any more pressure?
A maid I had some years ago was a great cook, and everybody loved her food. Everybody loved her food.
Oh, yes, maybe she could.
There wasn't any point going out to Thai restaurants because the Thai food we had here was better.
So, Gary, who's coming tonight?
3 friends, Joy, who's British, and Judy, who's American, and her boyfriend, Eric, who's Israeli.
Sounds like the start of a joke.
So, a bit of a mix tonight.
And a bit of a mix-up, possibly, with the menu.
Oh, I forgot to tell Tong that maybe no pork is a good idea.
But don't worry, Gary has a solution.
We'll just pretend it's chicken. Tastes the same, no one's gonna know.
He's only joking. That's fish. Not sure what that is, though.
Don't ring the bell or anything, Joy. Just walk on in.
Fellow Brit Joy is the first to arrive.
I think you've got the best dressed maid in Bangkok.
Yep. Who's lucky to be going out with the best dressed master.
If not the most modest.
What you've got cooking out there is like a whole lamb. Any chance of maybe making a souffle or something?
Gary's other dinner guests are late.
Yeah, well, I told him dinner's on the table at 8:30, so if they're not here, too bad.
Bangkok's busy traffic is the usual excuse for being late.
Let's have a look at Bangkok's notoriously bad traffic. It doesn't look so notoriously bad tonight, actually.
Oh, bit awkward.
8:30 on the dot. Come on in. Hi, Eric. How are you? Come on in. I'm going to sit here.
Gary and his guests sit down to dinner with an 18th floor vista few Bangkok restaurants could beat.
Okay, I did that too, Joy, right here.
But Gary's keen to avert everyone's eyes to his team's winning picture at the blue ball.
We owned that ball. They stopped talking to each other. They stopped drinking.
only Gary.
And they were taking pictures of us.
So Gary's won his prize. Now it's Tong Yak's turn. Will her food win favour with the dinner guests?
The interesting thing I'm finding about the food is this dish, which has got chilies in it, which I've managed to avoid, and celery. Celery, almost like raw celery, which is really unusual.
It's a
kind
fusion.
of fusion dish.
So I think your maid has done a fantastic job tonight.
You reckon?
You didn't have to train her. Keep this one. She's got to keep it as a keeper.
I concur.
So seems like Tong Yak has impressed the panel. Just the head judge to go.
Tong Yak's done a really good job. It's her first time cooking for a crowd of people, and everybody's enjoyed the dinner, as you can see.
Tong Yak, any post-party comments?
I think Carrie and guests are happy, but I am happy too.
I think Tong Yak's happy to stay with me. It's only me, so it's not exactly hard labor. By and large, I think Tong Yak's okay, and she tells me she's okay, so that's fine.
His friends are fed and his maids made the grade. All's well in Gary's world. The seaside resort of Pattaya is Bangkok's playground. And Lee and her dance troupe are on their way to their biggest event yet, a grand-scale Indian wedding. Lee's got her team together, some experienced dancers and others to help with the wedding party extras.
We call it welcoming, standing there in a nice dress looking pretty and saying, hello, welcome, have a nice evening.
This is the luxurious hotel where the dance legends will be performing. The girls are about to check in. Not here, though. Their accommodation is down the road.
So much stuff.
Lee deals with the receptionist using her best...
Can I pay tomorrow? Or I have to go 7 to 8 a.m.
English.
Chai, but first we check in, OK?
With no lift in sight, the entire troupe has to troop upstairs with their bags.
I think I picked the top bloody room as well.
The huge Indian wedding is about to kick off. Lee's desperate to start rehearsing on the stage where she and the troupe will be dancing in front of 500 people later. But first, they have other duties to fulfill. There's gift bags to be handed out and guests to be enthusiastically welcomed. Well, sort of. Lee encourages the girls to get in the party spirit, but her dancing catches the eye of someone else.
Maybe in the evening today we can go out somewhere.
I really wouldn't, mate. Have you seen her boyfriend? Enough said. Next, the team dance the bride and groom into the wedding hall, and then a quick costume change, and the dance legends are Hawaiian beach babes. So far, it's been one long photo shoot, mainly with men.
Yeah, it's a bit much sometimes.
It's a bit much.
I mean, a bit too many sweaty hands, you know, on your body.
And as if right on cue...
Tight grip. Strong man.
Very strong. Not only strong, very strong you can.
Oh, and then there's the more subtle approach. Saw you. The girls keep smiling, but it's hot. They're tired. And there's still the big dance performance to come. On top of their accommodation and expenses, this wedding will net Lee and her dance legends roughly £3,000. But the other duties they're expected to perform is making Lee wonder whether it's a price worth paying.
I don't love it, although I really do enjoy Indian weddings, and they're such lovely people that we do have a good time, particularly on these sort of day events. But we are dancers, and that's obviously the main thing.
Coming up, at last.
No, let's go, let's go!
It's showtime for Lee and her legends.
Why are we not ready?
Or is that showdown?
Not fair, man.
We don't waste our time on talking. Let's start.
Meanwhile, barman Billy's trying to build his dream bar from the rubble.
Things aren't going at the speed we like.
He's got women working on the building site, an unimpressed designer, and Dr. Dan the money man breathing down his neck.
Every day that the project has been delayed, it costs us lots of money.
Cheers. That'll be £1.50, please.
And Natalie has a date with a new mate.
Cockatoo? I've had a cockatoo.
It's not quite what she was expecting.
I want to know what Susie Wong's showing inside. She's showing her one, love.
Jesus, I can see what she had for breakfast.
Barman Billy Brunsden is a legend amongst expats on the Bangkok bar scene after running the Bull's Head pub. But since it closed, he's been looking for some luck.
Billy is a man without a bar. Why?
Let's get me a bar.
And his latest project, building a British-style gastropub, isn't going too well either.
Happy with the direction, but not with the speed. That's the key issue at the moment, I think, yeah.
Well, that's putting it mildly, Billy. In a month, the pub's supposed to look like this. It currently looks like this. Dr. Daniel, Billy's investor, is worried.
Every day that the project has been delayed, it costs us lots of money. Altogether, I think it will be coming to something like £500,000.
It's not just money that's at stake for Billy, it's his reputation. He needs this to work, as he's in no hurry to go back to Britain.
Come on, let me get to work. Back in the UK, could be doing anything. I could be, you know, digging holes in Bethnal Green. I guess cleaning up's my job.
He's been a bar manager in Bangkok before, but this is the first time he's been given entire creative control of a project.
The brickwork we want to look like it's been there for like 100 years. This is my project. You know, this is my name, my brand, my design. This is mine.
At the moment, though, it's Billy's pile of rubble. And Dr. Dan, the money man's so worried that today he's come personally to watch the concrete floor being laid.
Dr. Daniel, he's quite a character. He's very mysterious. He never really lets on, but he's half Armenian, half Japanese. You'll have to ask him why he's a doctor, you know. I don't know what he's a doctor of, but...
Well, I am actually in dermatology and natural medicine as well. That's my main job. That's why people call me Dr. Dan.
Right. Anyway, to bring this project some better luck, Dr. Dan has a plan.
What is this, Dan?
This is gold, precious stones, crystal.
Right. What's this for?
There's a little bit of some rice, some grains, a little bit of soil from Tibet. That's for the good luck, for prosperity.
Dr. Dan's following an ancient Asian tradition of putting valuable items into the foundations of a new business. Billy isn't entirely convinced.
Superstitions, I always, when I wake up, I always try and clean my teeth in the morning, first thing in the morning.
But you're not the 500,000 down, Billy, so get throwing.
I think these are the first drinks on site. Cheers. That'll be £1.50, please.
The manpower on a Thai construction site is a little different from what you might see in the UK. Well, it's not always manpower for a start.
No, I found that quite unusual when I come over here, first of all, you know. Not only the fact that you've got women on the building site, but you've got old women working on the building site as well, and old women in flip-flops.
Pint in hand, and maybe feeling a bit guilty.
Hold it a minute.
Billy decides to pitch in.
Thank you. I'm sacked.
Yes, Billy, this is women's work. You're just not cut out for it. This floor's been a long time coming, so pleased with progress, Billy and Dr. Dan are getting in increasingly high spirits.
So we want this place to be a wow place.
What?
Wow in the term of construction, the building, the structure.
What's he saying?
The food, the service. We've got a wow manager in here.
A what manager?
We want to look at this business as a wow.
Wow?
So the wow factor must be there in every sense.
Oh, wow factor, got it.
Oh, is that Ton, yeah?
Ton, yeah.
We've got a really good designer. He's a young Thai kid. Anyway, so he's very clued up.
Clued up and, as it turns out, a bit disapproving.
Very early for beer.
I know, we're celebrating. We're getting
Are you a wow designer?
What?
Are you a wow designer?
Wow.
Oh, no, not this again.
Wow.
Ton doesn't look very happy.
Are we having meetings soon?
Yeah, we do.
Billy's worried how they're coming across.
The designer's turn up and he's very professional, and I can tell he's a little bit disappointed that we've had a couple of drinks, so I'm going to try and keep my wits about me during the interview. We shouldn't really have had like 4 or 5 pints in the afternoon. Right, here we go.
So, Operation Impress the Designer begins.
Step into my office. Oh, man, it's locked.
And fails immediately.
It's that fucking Max. He locks it every time. I've left my key upstairs.
Designer Ton has actually had a rather expensive education in the UK.
I started in a prep school and then went on to high school. I think it's called, I think you know, the one called Harrow, on the hill.
Ah, yes, I do know it, yeah. So what did he make of the Brits?
They're quite nice, but I haven't experienced like up north. I know that they're a little bit more racist. I mean, uncultured.
Charming. Well, while Dr. Dan cements relations with the rather edgy designer, Billy goes to see how the workers are getting on. Well, famously, by the look of it.
To be honest, I'm chomping on the bit right now because I've got ex-staff calling me, when are you ready to open? And we've got the pub across the street and everyone's looking over, kind of like waiting for us to open and saying, ain't you open yet? So that's a frustrating thing at the moment, is getting to that point in the build where we can start enrolling staff and start promoting the new pub. One day this will all be yours.
Still suffering from the Bangkok shock is new arrival Natalie.
Sun-dried crocodile. It looks like you'd be chewing that for a bit.
Natalie gave up her job in Manchester and moved lock, stock and barrel with kids Patty and Abe when husband James got a job here. But after problems adapting to the food, heat and culture,
It's a bag of frogs.
she's starting to have doubts.
Oh dear. I'm feeling that this is like an amazing opportunity that's kind of wasted on me a bit, and that I'm like living somebody else's dream.
And with her husband often away with work, Natalie's feeling isolated.
I don't have those people that are there at the drop of a hat or are easy to reach, you know, to pick each other up and just to have laughs with.
But as chance would have it, another British expat has reached out to her.
A friend of a friend sent me a message saying, we need to go and do something, I think we could be friends. It's like dating, it's a bit weird.
So with nothing to lose, Natalie glams up and meets up with Julia at a roadside bar. Julia said she'll try and help Natalie ease into things.
Can't even get my arse into that high table.
And what better way to break the ice than a bucket full of booze? Literally, a bucket.
You've got cocktail envy. I've got cocktail envy. I've now got bucket envy.
I can always do a bucket of booze.
Steady. Ice broken and spirits lifted, Julia's keen to show Natalie the night sights of Bangkok, like the markets. These are a bit different from the UK. Madam, would you care to browse through some lethal weaponry? Or peruse the sex toys, perhaps?
Right, a strap-on or a strap-on?
And how about some performance powder?
Did you want it to last every 2 hours? Could you imagine? Just trying to get the washing up done.
And what is that?
I don't know. It's like a fucking wheelie bin. It looks like a wheelie bin. Looks like the torch have under the sink.
In Bangkok, the size of something else is also a shock to Western women, and that's the clothes.
Wouldn't even fit my bloody arm.
An average Thai woman is roughly a size 4. Size 8 is considered large in some shops.
What you're telling me is I will never be able to buy clothes in Bangkok ever again.
When you walk into a shop and they go, I'm sorry, madam, too fat.
But in some areas, clothes are less of an issue. Julia's decided it's about time Natalie sees the spicier side of Bangkok, Soi Cowboy, the infamous red light district.
Jesus, I can see what she had for breakfast. Cockatoo? I've had a cockatoo.
Julia.
Lovely one.
Does it feel seedy to you? Like,
yeah, it does. But seedy in a
cheeky Blackpool.
Blackpool, yeah, with a lot less clothing.
Natalie and Julia try to make light of it all.
I want to know what Susie Wong is showing inside. She's showing her Wong love.
But having children themselves, it's hard to forget the realities.
They're about 12. Don't bring your baby. I think I'm quite open-minded, but like,
You walk through here, I feel like a vicar.
No date would be complete without a meal. Last time Natalie sat down for some street food, she burst into tears with loneliness. But now she's got a +1 to share some noodles with.
Do you like it here?
I like the way my arms are sticking to the table. I think the friendships become really intense quite quickly because there's nobody else that you know, and so you kind of cut through all the crap and find out what each other are like quite quickly and sort of trust each other a little bit more from the outset.
Julia and her family have been here several years. So how did she overcome the Bangkok shock?
It's a crazy, sweaty, humid hellhole, and it's taken me a little while to get used to it. And now I'm just like, I actually really like it. I don't miss home. It's only every now and then I kind of think, oh, a rich tea and a bit of curry.
I miss Coronation Street.
You can get that on it.
Manchester 1, Bangkok 0. But has Natalie's date with Julia been a success?
She's just dead nice and really normal and easy to get along with, and we have a laugh, so she's probably a friend for life.
Manchester 1, Bangkok 1.
Cheers.
Maybe Natalie will be able to make a go of it here after all. At the beachside resort of Pattaya, the dance legends are just hours away from their biggest performance yet, in front of hundreds of guests at a massive Indian wedding.
Could you round them up and just be here, and I'll be there in a few, yeah.
Lee's trying to get all her dancers together.
Round them up.
People like Roz, who used to be a break dancer in London. Her moves are well practiced, But Lee knows the dance legends are not.
The last time we rehearsed was about 5 days ago, so I hope it's going to be okay.
With the clock ticking, there's a hastily arranged run-through in the hotel corridor. Without music. Everyone's having trouble remembering the routines. As well as lead dancer and choreographer, Lee's now been called on to sort the event music.
Maybe something like this.
My function has started, okay?
Not that everyone seems to appreciate her help.
Yeah, we just have to find the music for the band.
But then we need to just start. It's getting very late. My guests are here.
We're ready.
Well, nearly ready. Lee still needs to sort the wedding extras, like the welcome girls.
It's downstairs. They're downstairs at the door, right?
Lee wants to keep rehearsing, but it's time to get ready for the show. If only they had somewhere to change.
I can't change in a telephone box-sized room.
Oh dear. While Lee transforms the room,
We can have, like, another table. Then I can lay the costumes out.
the dancers transform themselves.
No one's got any knickers with them, have they?
Tonight's performance has a Moulin Rouge theme. The girls are becoming French fillies.
Boom!
Lee's been told they're on stage in half an hour. Plenty of time to get ready.
Are we ready? No.
Oh, change of plan?
10 to 15 minutes. OK, but someone just told me 30 minutes, but 15 minutes is possible.
With only half the time to get dressed, the heat is now on.
Not fair.
And if Lee's not hassled enough, she suddenly hears...
Why are we not ready?
Oh, it's that lady from the sound desk. Oh, dear.
Actually, we were told half an hour about 15 minutes ago.
So can we just start? We're already late.
I love to work with Indians, but sometimes they're very sort of changeable in what they want.
Okay, we don't waste the time on talking. Let's start.
After organising everyone else, Lee has had no time to sort herself out.
Let's go!
It's all crazy now.
And what's more annoying than someone clicking their fingers at you?
Guys,
A countdown.
it's going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
At last, it's time for the frazzled French showgirls to dazzle in front of an excited crowd. Lee needs this to go well. After all, people talk.
Particularly in the Indian community, they all talk amongst themselves and say, oh, they did a show for our wedding or something, try them, and this kind of thing. So, yeah, it's really good for word of mouth.
Square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
So far, so good. Until Lee's duet with Harry. In the rush, she didn't have time to pin the hat on. And then...
It's broken.
With no spare heels, Lee's forced to do the dance in her stockings. But the audience don't seem at all bothered. Clothing catastrophes aside, Lee's proved she's a can-can girl who can deliver, against the odds. So what of the future, Lee?
I just wanted to keep it going and keep it thriving, getting as many jobs as we are, being known for good quality performances. And I'd love to sort of like further it into other parts of Asia. You know, my mentality is very like, keep trying, keep trying. I think in this business you have to be like that.
Coming up, Billy's resorting to desperate measures to get his bar finished.
This is the walk-in wardrobe.
The workers are now living on site. Will it ever open?
I hate that question. When's the pub opening? When's the pub opening?
And Byron faces a painful wait as well. Has his scene with Kristen Scott Thomas made it to the premiere?
I would say it's in. I've not seen any of the footage yet, so I'm a bit anxious about it all.
Barman Billy Brunsden from Sidcup, Kent, is trying to build his dream bar in Bangkok. But the delays are getting worse and the bill is rising. So when are you opening, Billy?
I hate that question. Whenever I see anyone, no one ever asks me anything else, but when's the pub opening? When's the pub opening?
It was supposed to be this month, so Billy's got a new contractor.
Good to have you on board, man. Yeah, good man.
And to hurry things along, the workers are actually living on site.
This is our cold room, but right now it's his front room. This is the walk-in wardrobe. Come on, stop hanging around, get back to work. What do you think, Mrs. Butlins already can?
Opening is looking a long way off, but Billy is philosophical.
When you live in Thailand, you just got to go with the flow. Like, you know, there's ups and downs, you just got to enjoy the ride. The most important thing is don't let it get you down and don't give up, keep fighting and keep plugging away until you get open.
So, any tips for other would-be entrepreneurs?
Anyone who's in England who's thinking of coming to Thailand and opening a bar, my advice is buy an already operating one.
Oh. But Billy has found some joy amongst the rubble.
How are you? Come on, let's go on the side.
The woman trying to flog him a security system, Thao, has caught his eye.
I like you and I like to do business with people that I like, you know.
They've had one date.
No, it's not a date at all, no. It's just like I would like to know more about CCTV and alarms, so I decided to invite her out for a drink to learn more. But I'm going to put my best aftershave on anyway, just in case.
Attaboy, Billy. His bar may currently look like this, but tonight, at least, it looks like somebody else's bar will do just fine. In downtown Bangkok, Byron's anxiously waiting to see if he's made the cut of Only God Forgives.
You can't go around killing cops anymore.
While he's getting a new tattoo to enhance the bad boy image, the film's premiering at the Cannes Film Festival. He's just heard that his torture scene has caused quite a stir.
It's very controversial, which I like. They've said the violence in the movie is quite extreme, so it looks like I've done my job. And apparently people are walking out the cinema, which I'm very happy about. People always remember the bad guy, and you always seem to remember the bad scenes.
So, has the scene with him and Kristen Scott Thomas made the final cut?
I would say it's in. I've not seen any of the footage yet, so I'm a bit anxious about it all, but it's got to be in to tell the story.
Byron gets the news he's been waiting for. He's been sent a picture of him and Kristen in the movie.
For me, this is the biggest acting role I've ever had.
And a few weeks later, Byron gets to see himself on the big screen with some fellow cast members. OK, so he's had to buy his own ticket and his own popcorn, but put it this way, have you been in a movie with Kristen Scott Thomas?
What future do I see? Well, I just want to keep going. I just want to keep working in movies and hopefully keep playing the bad guy roles. Maybe a few good guy roles here and there. But yeah, I absolutely love it, and for me, this has been a dream.
And what about Lee?
For me, I'd like a little bit of the same success would be nice, acting as well. And my dance team's going great. Everything's pretty good.
Yeah, amazing talent.
And finally, Natalie No Mates, who found a mate, has now found some more mates.
We've come to the Golden Mount today with our friends. We've got some friends, which is really, really nice. It's so nice to have people that we can actually hang out with and have a laugh with and, you know, just be in the company of while our children behave like kids. See some of the world that we wouldn't see in Manchester, and that's exactly what we're doing, and it's really, really nice.
Alongside looking after the kids, Natalie's also writing some articles for a Bangkok magazine called Expat Ladies.
Kind of has connotations of, you know, like pearl-clutching kind of ladies in kaftans drinking gin. It's not like that. It has got interesting topics on women's issues and all sorts. It feels like everything's kind of slotting into place. For all my ups and downs with Bangkok, the downs in particular, I've never once thought I want to go home. I really love living in Bangkok.
And Natalie speaks for all of our Brits. Whatever their struggles, they're in no hurry to come back to Britain.
Bangkok's the place to be.
I like Bangkok a lot better than the UK. There's too many things to mention.
In this new world city, you can buy anything, try anything, or be anything.
It's easy, it's fun, it's hot, it's a great place to be.
All kinds of shit going on, which you'd never expect back home.
So if you don't mind a bit of heat, traffic, and the fact you'll pay a hell of a lot for a piece of cheese...
Bloody hell, £40.
...then you might fancy being a Brit in Bangkok.
If you have plans on Thursday, surely when I tell you that it's the live